Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at a pretty interesting knife that I picked up while I was at Blade Show earlier this year. This is obviously from Kansept, as you guys can see there. I love going by the Kansept booth when I'm at Blade Show because they have a lot of really awesome things, but they have some really great prices on a lot of their knives. So I tend to end up picking up like 2 or 3 of them while I'm there. And this was one that I was kind of toying with the idea of picking up just because I've seen this model before. But then I saw this particular rendering of that model, and I don't know, it was so different that I said, you know what, let me go ahead and pick it up just because it's such a different knife. And here is a little bit of information about it. This is the Kansept XL Korvid. So you guys are familiar with the Korvid model. This is the extra large one. So this is the 3.55 inch blade. Again, it's designed by Koch Tools. I'm not exactly sure how you say that. It is his model number T1030B5, and it's the gray anodized and stone washed 154 cm JG10 plus JG10 with parent and child hands. And that last part is the part that I thought was really interesting. So this is the packaging that it came in. As you slide that off, you have a little sleeve right up here with some documentation, and it also has a cleaning cloth, so that is really cool. I'll go ahead and leave that in there. And then you have a little bag that the knife is inside. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And this is a Kansept branded bag, really nice. And then the knife itself pretty much takes up the whole bag because this is a big boy. Again, if you guys are familiar with this particular model, which is the Korvid, this is the extra large version of the Korvid. Now, it does say that these are JG10 scales. I'm not sure if I would say they're JG10, but at first glance, they almost look white or kind of like a light gray. But when you actually see, I don't know if you guys can make it out right there, when you see through the, the open back of the knife onto the handle itself, it is, as you guys can see there, I don't know if you see my finger kind of blocking out the lights. It does have some JG10 properties to it, so that is pretty interesting. But obviously the selling point, in my opinion, for this knife, besides obviously the big size of it, is this artwork that's on the scales right here, and is what they're calling the, let me see off the box, parent and child hands. So you can see a large hand right here, which would be the parent hand, and then a smaller hand right here, which would be the child hand, and they're almost what I would say giving dap. If you guys know what that is, that's what I thought of it when I saw it. And then it's actually like superimposed on top of a map of the world. So I thought that was really interesting. I was talking to the folks at Kansept, and they said that it has to do with like a prelude to Father's Day. That's why they came out with this particular knife. But they weren't really 100% sure on that. So if you guys know, maybe if you have this model or you've heard of it or you've researched it and let me know in the comment section below. Is that what it's all about? Is it supposed to be for Father's Day? I like the idea. I like to think that that's the case. So, we will go with that. It's a father and child, or a parent and child, sorry, not a father, a parent and child giving dap to each other. So, and then on top of the world. So, we'll leave it at that. Again, this is a rather large sized knife. It's got an overall length of 8.76 inches. And then, again, from the packaging here, it's got a blade length of 3.55 inches. Now, you do have really nice contouring all throughout. So as you guys can see, the scales actually are stepped up right in the center, or in this portion right here. But the design actually goes through all the way to the back, almost where the scales meet the liners right there. So that is really cool. So you do have the artwork on both sides. So as you guys can see here, it's actually inverted, which is interesting because the map is kind of facing the opposite way, but you do have it on both sides, so that's pretty nice. You do have 3 standoff screws in the back there, because again, this is such a large knife, and it's a pretty heavy knife also. It comes in at 8.36 ounces. So you are going to feel this guy in your pocket if you're going to be carrying it in your pocket. So you have those 3 standoffs right there, and then you have a nice little lanyard hole right here that goes all the way through. As I mentioned, you do have liners which are skeletonized. Obviously, you want to reduce as much weight as you can, so the liners are skeletonized, and then you have the G10 right here is very grippy, which is really nice. Again, it's G10, so it should, unless it's polished, it should be grippy. And then you have these 2 cutouts into the G10, which add a little bit more grip to the knife itself as well. Now, believe it or not, you do have a deep ride pocket clip on this guy. So very, very high pocket clip right here, and it rides really low in the pocket. The pocket clip is angled to kind of follow the contour of the knife itself, and then it's a little bit wider on the bottom here as it flips up. Nice retention, very easy to get in and out of your pocket if you had to do that. You do have a flipper tab right there. No jimping on the flipper tab, but it is a rather large flipper tab, which is going to allow you to go ahead and deploy that blade, and it deploys very, very nicely. And again, if you guys know, the Korvid here is a cleaver style blade, so you do get a large cleaver style blade. Again, it's 3.55 inches on this. This is a gray anodized and stone wash, obviously full flat ground, and then you have this kind of fuller that runs on the top right there. It cuts off. Again, it's a cleaver blade, so it cuts off right here. I almost feel like it should be sharpened right there. It's got a little bit of a swedge right at the tip right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It almost feels like it should be sharpened, so you can almost like chisel with this. Not pry, but chisel with it. But again, it is not. You do have a finger tool right there, which if you needed to choke up on the blade to do finer blade detail or work details with the blade, you would be able to do that. It is razor sharp, and then this little point right here is nice and acute, so if you have to pierce something, you can go ahead and do that. It is a 154 cm blade, so pretty nice steel. And again, as I mentioned, it is gray anodized and stone washed. You do have the Kansept logo right there. And then you do have the Cox tool, or cock tool, however you say it, logo on the other side there. I don't know if you guys can make it out. Now you do have the name of the blade as well. Let me see if you guys can see it. There's a little bit of oil right there, but it says XL Korvid right there. So that's going to be your printing. And then on the other side, you do have your model number. Very, very small. I don't think you guys can make it out. It says the model number and then 154 cm, which is your blade steel. You do have a liner lock right here, which does a great job of locking that blade. No blade plate whatsoever on it, but the scales are cut back enough so you can access that liner very easily, and very easy drop shut, and the blade is in there. Again, it deploys with very much authority, and as you guys can see, because this is an extra large model, I do get a full grip on it. All 4 fingers are right there. Very, very comfortable. No sore spots whatsoever. Again, this is a great tool. So I was really, really happy to be able to pick this guy up, because it's just so different, you know. Besides the actual style of it, you know, the cleaver style blade, you know, the XL version of it, but just the artwork on here, you know, it just makes it a lot different. It's definitely a conversation piece. You know, if I were to show this to somebody, you know, they'll be pretty interested to see what that is or what it means and stuff like that. You do have some thumb studs on here as well, which you can use to deploy the blade. And because that blade is so thick and so heavy and such a big blade, it definitely flies out, whether you're using the flipper in the back or if you're using the thumb studs right here. Now, one last thing is the pocket clip is only tip up right hand carry. Unfortunately, you cannot flip it to the other side, which is interesting because since you have the artwork on both sides and you do have the room, I don't know why they couldn't have made it so you can put it on the other side as well. Now, as far as pocket carrying this guy, you know, you can, but that's pretty much the only thing that you're going to be able to fit into your pockets, just because of how wide this, you know, the profile of this blade is, or this knife is. When you have it closed, as you guys can see right here, the blade and the handle make a pretty wide package here. So when you have it clipped into your pockets, it's going to take up pretty much the whole room I don't think you'll be able to fit anything else in this pocket. So again, you know, it can be pocket carried, but I would probably leave this to carrying it inside of a bag or something like that. Not so much because of the size, but a little bit more because of the weight. Because again, it's 8.36 ounces, so it's a heavy big boy. So there it is. Just a quick look at the XL Korvid from Kansept Knives. Again, this one is the parent and child hands version in the G10, the Jade G10 handles with the gray anodized and stonewashed 154 cleaver style blade. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.